In the year 1801, an experiment was conducted that would unravel the very fabric of reality. It was a discovery so profound that even today, despite the advancements of modern science, its true implications remain widely misunderstood or outright ignored. This experiment did not merely alter our understanding of physics, it redefined the nature of existence itself. What if I told you that the way we perceive reality is an illusion? That the solid world we interact with daily is, at its core, shaped by something far more mysterious than we could have ever imagined. The implications of this experiment challenge everything we assume about the physical universe and our role in it. I'm talking about the groundbreaking double-slit experiment, the very foundation of quantum mechanics, the study of how reality truly comes into being. A scientific breakthrough that remains as unsettling as it is revolutionary. It not only reshaped modern physics but also forces us to confront a deeper truth, that the universe is not just passively existing, it is responding. Let's take a journey into the unknown as we explore one of the most fascinating and bewildering experiments ever conducted and uncover its shocking implications for the nature of reality, consciousness, and the very essence of existence itself. What is the double-slit experiment? To understand the profound mystery behind this experiment, we must first meet the man who conducted it, Thomas Young. A true polymath of the 19th century, Young was not only a physicist, but also a physician, linguist, and even an Egyptologist, who played a crucial role in deciphering the Rosetta Stone. His intellectual curiosity knew no bounds, and in 1801, his work would forever change how we understand light, and by extension, reality itself. At the time, scientists were locked in a heated debate. Was light made of particles, as Sir Isaac Newton believed, or did it behave as a wave, as others like Christian Huygens proposed? Young devised a simple yet ingenious experiment to find out. Using a light source, he directed a beam through a barrier containing two narrow slits. On the other side of this barrier was a screen where the light would be projected. If light behaved as particles, one would expect to see two bright bands corresponding to the slits. But that's not what happened. Instead, Young observed an interference pattern, alternating bands of light and dark much like ripples on a pond. This was proof that light behaved as a wave, spreading through both slits simultaneously and interfering with itself. This discovery seemed to settle the debate. Light was a wave. Case closed. But the real mystery began over a century later, when scientists revisited Young's experiment, this time using individual particles like electrons and photons. They expected the same particle-like behavior Newton had proposed. However, when these tiny particles were fired one by one, the interference pattern still appeared. How could this be? Each individual particle was behaving as if it had passed through both slits simultaneously, like a wave, and interfered with itself. And then came the truly baffling part. Scientists placed detectors at the slits to observe which slit each particle passed through. The moment they did this, the interference pattern vanished. Instead of behaving as waves, the particles behaved like, well, particles, choosing one slit or the other, as Newton had predicted. This meant that simply observing, the particle changed its behavior. Reality itself was being altered by the act of measurement. This paradoxical phenomenon became known as wave function collapse, a concept that remains at the heart of quantum mechanics. The role of the observer, if reality at its most fundamental. Level changes based on whether or not it is observed. What does that say about our relationship with the universe? This experiment suggests that the act of observation plays an intrinsic role in shaping the physical world. Before observation, particles exist in a state of superposition, a cloud of infinite possibilities. But once observed, they choose a definite state. This is not just abstract physics. It has profound implications for the nature of consciousness itself. If observation determines reality, then to what extent does the mind shape the world around it? Does consciousness collapse the infinite possibilities of the universe into the singular experience we call reality? The ancient wisdom of many spiritual traditions echoes this idea. Reality is not something separate from us, but something that responds to our awareness. The concept of as above, so below, attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, suggests a deep underlying unity between the observer and the observed, a principle eerily reminiscent of what quantum mechanics now proposes. The quantum field, the source of all that exists, but this experiment opens yet another door, one that leads to the most fundamental question of all. What is reality made of? When we break down matter to its most basic components, we find atoms. Within atoms, we find subatomic particles. And beyond that, a seemingly infinite field of energy, a realm of pure potential known as the quantum vacuum. This quantum field is the source from which all matter emerges. It is the ocean of possibility from which reality manifests. Some call it the zero-point field, others call it the unified field. And yet, throughout history, mystics and philosophers have spoken of it in different terms. The divine, the source, the all. If this field is the source of all things, then it possesses the very attributes traditionally ascribed to a creator. It is omnipresent, existing in all things, omnipotent, as all energy emerges from it, and omniscient, for it holds all information in a field of infinite possibilities. So what does this mean for us? If the quantum field is the foundation of all reality and consciousness plays a role in shaping it, then our thoughts, our attention, and our awareness may have more power than we ever imagined. What we focus on determines what we bring into reality. If you focus on obstacles, you reinforce them. If you shift your awareness toward solutions, opportunities arise. This is not just wishful thinking. It is a principle woven into the very nature of the universe itself. The future of understanding. Double-slit experiment remains one of the most mind-bending discoveries in history, and yet, despite its implications, the true meaning of this experiment is often dismissed. Perhaps the idea that reality is not fixed, that consciousness is an active participant in the creation of the world, is too much for many to accept. But, as history has shown, the truth has a way of surfacing, whether we are ready for it or not. One day, just as we accept gravity and relativity as fundamental laws of nature, so too may we come to understand the quantum nature of existence. As Max Planck, the father of quantum mechanics, once said, "Science progresses one funeral at a time. For now, the choice remains ours. Do we dismiss these findings as abstract physics, or do we dare to step beyond the limits of conventional thinking and embrace the deeper nature of reality? The answer may lie not in science alone, but in our willingness to open our minds to a universe far stranger and more magnificent than we ever imagined."